Can't believe we got to do one of these things. Damn it. Of course we have to do one of these things. Of course we have to. Duh. We've got to do one of these things now that we've, just lost and lost and lost and lost and lost. But oh, you know what? Let's get to the intros. Let's get to all the good schbits, all the good schbits, right? Oh my goodness. Chat box. This chat box is just giving me grief. Chat box, that's what it's doing. Hello, boys and girls. It's your boy, Lieutenant Dan, here from Orlando, Florida, coming to you live here with Unintentional Grounding, talking to you guys a little bit about the Atlanta Falcons and some things, some notes, some notes. Good to see Dexter Vlash, Trevon Turner, Christopher Sanders. Good to see you guys. Rise up, stay grounded. Hope you're doing well. And if you haven't already said hi, please make sure that you hit us up in the chat. We would love to hear from you. Is it this? This? No. This is just the shine in my eyes from whatever. Okay. Anywho, so these Falcons. I guess we'll start it out this in this particular way, and I want everybody to understand that like this is just kind of my lay of the land. I do not like the way that this Falcons team operates on a week-to-week basis, and frustratingly decides that the bigger picture means so little if there's any chance whatsoever to go to the playoffs. And I don't know how anybody else feels about that in its own way, because it if you have a chance to go to the playoffs, you're going to push for the playoffs no matter what, right? So we can't pretend that the Falcons are not going to try to go for a playoff run. Like they're not going to go try to win a Super Bowl. But this team, like I said at the beginning of this year, I said this team is nowhere near playoff ready. Marcus Mariota could give you, maybe rattle you out 7 wins. Well, now, I mean, I'm starting to doubt whether or not that's going to come to fruition, because Marcus Mariota is just that much of a klutz. It speaks volumes because you look at the Falcons and you say, well, before the injury, obviously, you have Kyle Pitts, you have Marcus Mariota, you have Cordero Patterson. You didn't know what you had in Tyler Algier, really, honestly, but he started to get better and better. You have Caleb Huntley, who can be hot and cold a little bit here. You have Drake London, you got Bird, you got this and that, Zacchaeus, and I feel like that on paper, no, not even on paper, actually just said mouth to mouth at the barbershop sounds better than when you actually see it on paper, or you actually see it in Madden, or you see it online in somebody's forum post about how, Marcus Mariota is going to be the next big thing. You talk about levels. You talk about levels of what the Falcons could potentially do with a Marcus Mariota, because it sounds interesting. It's unique when you go, oh yeah, the Falcons with Marcus Mariota. That's running the ball. That's a little bit of passing here. That's a lot of RPO stuff and play action and da. But then when actually put into practice and actually put onto the field, you go, this is like a discount Michael Vick wannabe from like the street ball that you used to play with your friends. That one guy that was like, "I'm gonna be the next Michael Vick. Look at me, ooh," throwing stuff, dirty bird, and like that's what we've got. Is a Marcus Mariota that's he's okay, okay, but he's not winning you, rings, championships. Whoa, what? Anyway, he's not winning you championships. Yeah, I don't even think that Marcus Mariota is able to win you playoff games, let alone championships. Maybe not even get you 7, 8 games. But on paper, or set in the barbershop, or set on the street, or with your coworkers at home, or looking at your fantasy team, it seems interesting, Marcus Mariota with the Atlanta Falcons. But let's just be honest, it's not anything special whatsoever. And it ends up with Falcons fans getting this misconception of what the reality of the QB carousel, whatever you want to call it, really is. Because the Falcons fans have never experienced the QB carousel. Coaching carousel to some extent, but never really the QB carousel. I mean, we've been so protected by Matt Ryan for so many years. I think a lot of fans don't understand how crazy that is, that they've been protected for 12 years, 13 years, however long it's been now, by Matt Ryan, and never had to experience having to go in flux with QBs. I was talking to people on my Discord, and our discussion back and forth was, we've never really felt the QB issue because of Matt Ryan just solidifying one of the most important spots that you could possibly have on any roster, is having a solidified QB that knows how to throw the ball, that doesn't crumble under pressure, that makes the plays when they need to. It makes the easy stuff look easy and makes the hard stuff look easy too. Makes the system gel and everything actually works. That is what we've had the luxury of as fans for quite some time. And when you have a can't miss prospect like a Matt Ryan, it makes guys like when Marcus Mariota comes in here, it makes those guys look like, wow, this is the best we could do, huh? So this is the best we could do. And this is where my first talking point of today starts out, is what blood money do we still have to pay Marcus Mariota? Or is it Arthur Smith who's paying the money? I'm not sure. What do we have to finish doing for Marcus Mariota? What do we have to go out to Marcus Mariota's house and like wash his car and clean his deck and like cut the grass and like, fish the leaves out of the pool and maybe like do his carpets and like make him dinner and cookies in bed and milk and a kiss on the forehead, and then say, okay, now we've done everything for you. You can't be our quarterback anymore. What do we have to do? Like, what do we have to do, huh? What do we have to do? What blood money is left to pay to Marcus Mariota? What promises were made by Arthur Smith and company for Marcus Mariota? To Marcus Mariota, to allow him to play up to. Can somebody explain this to me? Does anybody have an idea of how to explain this one to me? I look, man, look. I don't know how you explain it. I don't know how you explain it other than this. This right here is the definition of either this is the most stubborn coach I have ever in my history of watching the Atlanta Falcons. This has to be the most stubborn coach I have ever seen. Or you made promises prior to Marcus Mariota getting the start, and that promise is quarters of the season, the whole season. What is it? Was there no, we'll let you play the whole season if you come here to Atlanta and there's no prerequisites or variables or issues. And then, all right, now Marcus, play. And then things start going downhill and you made no adjustments to this. You made no decisions beforehand on like, Marcus, we're only bringing you in here so we can transition to someone else. Is that how that worked? Is that how that ended up? Fat Boy Tacos, what's going on, my man? Fat Boy Tacos is a G. Jock Money, good to see you, man. Keep spitting that reel. Good to see you live, sir. So, Desmond Ridder and the mystery of the O-line. Can we have this discussion for just a second? Desmond Ridder and the mystery of the Atlanta Falcon O-line. What is it that this Falcons team needs to do? What is it that they need to do, specifically speaking? Because they're almost running for 200 yards a game. I mean, 126 here, 96 here, 130, 175, 151. I mean, explain this to me. Explain this to me. What do the Falcons have to do? They run the ball, 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 they run the ball. And it works, but wouldn't that work regardless of whether or not Mariota or Ridder are in? So my next question here, as just a very confused fan, would be Desmond Ridder must have accuracy issues that are so major and so game destroying that he can't, that Mariota is the guy that plays? I don't know. I don't know. Because the only other explanation is, and again, you can have stubborn coach or a deal was made. There really isn't any in between. Because, I mean, yes, you could say, okay, all right, so here's the deal. We are going to take Marcus Mariota and we're going to use him for 1 year. 1 year, right? 1 year. And then next year, we're going to have Desmond Ridder as the guy. But we don't want to try Desmond Ridder out at any point this year because we're afraid of what our offensive line is doing currently. Mr. Patterson, good to see you, my man. Rise up, stay grounded. I hope you're doing well. So it must not have anything to do with the actual game play, the game calls, because obviously you can run the ball and dominate and only have to pass like 12 times an entire game. And if 12 decisions are the only decisions that Desmond Ridder has to particularly make, then I'm confused. If 20 decisions is all he has to make, then I'm very confused. Falcons fan 408, good to see you, man. Rise up, stay grounded. I hope you're doing well. So if Arthur's if AS is making all of the play calls for the most part, and Marcus is making maybe some substitutions here, some play changes here or there, is it really that holding up Desmond Ridder from actually being able to start? Because, I mean, some people were like, well, he hasn't had a lot of time starting under center. I watched his preseason. I'm not stupid. We run pistol. We run shotgun. And when we run, we decide to run 14 straight times in a row, and you have to stop us, not the other way around. So please tell me why Desmond Ridder has not started since the second Panthers game. Explain that to me in crucial detail. If it really has only one thing to do, which is they had to go to if they had a shot to go to the playoffs, that Marcus Mariota had to be the star of the show, then I'm going to have to say bullshit. Bullshit. That's and we all know that that's a stupid choice. It's not a fan point of view to look at it and say, well, you don't want to put Desmond Ridder behind a line that's bad. Bruh. Marcus Mariota barely ever gets touched. And when he gets sacked, sacked. Not like it happens multiple times in a row. We run the ball too much to have that happen. And when it's not shotgun, it's a play action or a rollout play action. You can't tell me that Desmond Ridder can't get a start here doing the same exact offense. Don't lie to me and tell me, okay, listen, it's just because he's not ready for the weight of the decisions placed on the shot. Bruh, it's run the ball with two really, really good runners. 3 if you want to count Huntley. Or Marcus Mariota throws it to Drake London. And Kyle Pitts when he's healthy. What other options are there? And it works for Mariota, so I can't imagine it not working for Desmond Ridder. So explain to me how that works. How, you guys tell me how that works. Because I obviously, I must be off my rocker. I must be out of my mind. I must be on some other plane of existence or something. Because there's not a single reason. And even the good ones like, the offensive line is not ready. Those sound like incredible lies. McGarry and Lindstrom look pretty decent to me. Dahlman looks like he's holding up just fine. We plug and play left guard and it works. And Jake Matthews is Jake Matthews. So what's holding up Desmond Ridder from starting? Playoffs? 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 We're just trying to win a game. Playoffs? Playoffs? Yeah, explain that one to me. Which you can't, by the way, because if you haven't said hi in the chat, please make sure that you say hi in the chat. I'd love to say hi back. Promise, I don't bite. Just a little bit. It's something else, man. Something else. So, obviously, Marcus Mariota still not done receiving his blood money, whatever those are. And obviously Desmond Ridder has been put in a corner because either he's and the fan perspective of this is just great. I'm going to go on another tangent here. The fan perspective of this is so fantastic. Here's a fan perspective. He must be so trash that he can't even beat Marcus Mariota in practice. The rookie can't beat the veteran in practice and take his spot. He's so trash. CJ Stroud, baby. CJ Stroud. Let's go. Let's go get Bryce Young. We can't. Oh, nope. No time. No time, y'all. No time. Let's go. Let's get this out of here. We out of here. We gone. We got to go get another drafted quarterback. Woo! Let's go. Let's go get ourselves a real leader of men. He just used a third rounder on Ritter, and I know it's only a third rounder, but you're talking about a third rounder, a guy that is expected. We talk about this on this particular podcast every once in a while. We bring this up. Second and third rounders should develop and be ready by year 2 or 3, depending on what position they play. So if it's a quarterback or an offensive lineman, defensive lineman, corner, year 2 or year 3 or year 2 usually should be when they've developed enough that they either have already broken the starting lineup and are getting reps in year 1 and then become a full-time starter in year 2, or by year 2 should have already taken a position that someone else was exiting because you drafted that person to replace that person, and now taking a role there, maybe switching out with a short-term veteran or someone that should already have developed what skills they need in year 1 to be able to get opportunity in year 2. Quarterbacks, sometimes wide receivers, sometimes linebackers, sometimes safeties get put into that particular role where they don't necessarily develop quick enough, or they get very limited reps before they are turned into full-time starters, unless obviously the situation is so dire that they have to start those players. So yes, there are a lot of quarterbacks that start first, second, or third round, and they get immediately thrown in the fire, and they either flounder or they don't. And by year 2, 3, you figured out who that quarterback is, because if your situation is so dire that you've put your quarterback in at year 1 or year 2, then that means that that quarterback probably doesn't have a lot of other things around him. If it's such an emergency to start that quarterback in the first or second year, then that means that everything else is probably pretty dog shit. And that means that your crap factory, which is what I like to call my brain, suddenly just, I don't know, just kind of falls apart, puts out really shitty ideas that doesn't really get anywhere, it doesn't fertilize the ground and grow anything decent. It just kind of shits up the place. So one second. Hello? Okay. We're having wraps for dinner. So everybody in the chat, I want to see, what are you guys having for dinner tonight? Everybody in the chat, I want to hear what you're having for dinner tonight. Now, post it in the chat. I expanded the chat so you guys can now tell me, what are you having for dinner? Go, quick. What are you having for dinner? We are having wraps, supposedly. Pizza for the kids. Pizza, says Dexter Vlash. Wow, you guys are playing. Come on, guys. Step up that game. Cook for yourselves. You're grounders. You're better than that. Better than that. You don't need pizza. Christopher Sanders is also having pizza. What in the world? Chicken and dumplings. Big John with the chicken and dumplings. Let's go. Let's go. Big ups for Big John. Hey, there we go. No pizza. No pizza. Get the pizza out of here, bro. Roasted chicken, garlic mashed potatoes, green beans, and homemade biscuits, baby. Who is this? And why is it our king and our champion? The great Bangalore. The great Bang one. Day. All right. Back to it. Where was I? Where was I before I was rudely interrupted? Oh, yeah, the crap factory. All right, so anyway, yeah, if you allow your crap factory to just keep making more crap, then you keep making more excuses for why this team needs to go grab another quarterback in the first round or the second round of the coming draft, whose quarterbacks are all massive question marks. If the previous class wasn't already, I don't know if I want to really touch that because that's a lot of This is even more, I can't even begin to describe how blech this class is. Just like, I don't even want to look at this class. It's such a bummer. This class is such a bummer. The class after this is going to be fire. This class is like, yeah, but nah. Yeah, but nah. I don't think CJ is actually that good. I don't even think that CJ is actually that good. I don't even think that Bryce Young is that good. I don't. I think they have incredible talent around them. Dan, how dare you say that they're just field generals? How dare you say that they're system quarterbacks? Jalen Hurts was a system quarterback. Jalen Hurts does just fine. He's not perfect. He's just good. He's really good at playing at this level of the NFL. Playing at this level. This level. And you can see which quarterbacks in this class hold a little more weight than others. But out of those quarterbacks, most of them you need to land with the right guys. They're asked to do too much pro or too much this or too much that or too many reads or become the next Pat Mahomes. I think too much pressure for this class. This class actually will be expected to do a lot more than this previous class. I think that this class will be expected to do a lot more than this previous class because they're going to be the saviors of their classes. They're going to be the saviors of their teams. I am down with dinner. Sounds great. Wraps are yummy. Yeehaw. If she could only see my stream right now. She never checks if I'm streaming. Ever. Not even once. Ever. Anywho. So let me just say this very quickly because we've derailed a little bit here into this whole draft discussion. But I'm you know what? I'm not holding back. The excuses of keeping Desmond Ridder off the field have become tiresome, and the Falcons fans aren't getting smarter with their decision making as far as like, oh, you know what? Crazy idea. If we just let Desmond Ridder play and we find out what he's capable of and then put pieces around that, Desmond Ridder could be good enough that we get other key pieces and they become the parts of this defense and this offense and this special teams that carry this team, and Desmond Ridder doesn't have to be that guy. You want your quarterback to be the leader, but he doesn't have to be the crutch. Look at you, Green Bay. That's right. That's right. I caught you in the act. I caught all you fans in the act. Ha 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 ha. I caught you all. You all forgot about how Green Bay is a one-trick pony. Aaron Rodgers has carried that team. The defense has been bad. The defense has been bad. Their special teams have been meh. Go ahead and go ask some Packers streamer or somebody, some content creator, to please, by all means, come after me and be like, oh, you cry. The moment that Aaron Rodgers became too powerful in Green Bay was the moment that management decided to use Aaron Rodgers as the crutch for everything else to be cheap and keep the same squad, which is always a terrible idea. Keep the band together and just keep everything cheap and make stupid decisions over and over and over and over, wasting money instead of going, we've got to keep the nucleus of this team revolved around the team, not revolved around Aaron Rodgers. Alberto Molina. What's going on, my man? I think Desmond Ridder will take the NFL by surprise. He is like the Chiefs situation where Mahomes was sitting behind Alex Smith. But hold up now. Alex Smith. Oh, that's right. Oh, no. No. Mr. Molina, no, you did not say the one thing that I was. Why'd you have to ruin my show, bro? You didn't have to take my show right off the wheels, bro. Because remember, guys, Alex Smith couldn't pass for a touchdown to save his life. You guys remember that? Where Alex Smith could not throw a touchdown to like a wide receiver. Do you guys remember that? Where Alex Smith was like, wow, if he's okay. He could go on to another team and be pretty good, but he can't seem to throw a touchdown. I remember this. I was like, for one season. It was like for one season. And you know what? That heavily and terrifyingly reminds me of the current situation that we have on hand, which is Marcus Mariota can throw touchdowns, but they're not. It's very obvious ones. Everything else is to like run the ball and throw it at tight ends. And like, I mean, But you're not wrong though, Alberto. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. That's the exact way to look at it. I mean, look. I don't want to be some superstar online. I never have. I've never wanted to. I've just always wanted to be the guy that says, "Hey, look, this is the place where we need to come and we all need to discuss." And this stuff right here. You see this stuff? You see this stuff right here? This stuff right here, where Alberto's in here speaking mad facts. Can I get everybody in the chat to please give Alberto a clap? Give him a rise up and a clap, bro. Because Alberto came in here with an absolute banger quote here. Is that this situation eerily reminds everybody of the Alex Smith Mahomes situation. Now, Mahomes came from Texas Tech. He was in a spread offense. He was flinging the ball everywhere. Now, I'm not saying Desmond Ridder is at the level of Patrick Mahomes. But what I'm saying is that the eerie similarities between these two situations that are very, very similar, actually, in their own rights, speak volumes to, and by the way, if we remember correctly, the Chiefs' offensive line was okay at that point. Now, the Falcons' offensive line situation is currently not so great. It's not what you want, but it can be schemed out of because we got a guys like Arthur Smith who knows how to get the right offensive lineman on the field. And I just saw somebody in the chat say, pound for pound is decent, but you are the best. No, I'm not the best. Not the best. Very, very kind of you to say, not the best. Pound for pound puts out more content than I do. They're fantastic at what they do. They are probably a better channel than what I am. And, those guys know what they do, know what they're doing. So I would never. That's ridiculous. Pound for pound, real guys. Lieutenant Dan, just a guy that's been on kind of like a hiatus, trying not to like make his anxiety go flipping through the roof because somebody almost like destroyed his life. End. Scene. Click. I feel like the Falcons fans want a situation that they can get this like great magical Wonderland Disney ending and beginning to a new like movie and like be like, oh, amazing. Meanwhile, I think the reality is more like what has happened to Kansas City, where you have a situation in Kansas City, you've got a veteran guy, he's decent. I'm not saying Mariota is actually that bad. There's actually been a lot of bad luck that's happened around Mariota. But he still makes foolish mistakes and he still does some really crazy, silly things. Add that onto the fact that a guy like Alex Smith was the same way. Decent arm, couldn't throw a lot of touchdowns, ran, depended on a very good running game, had a couple of pieces already there, threw a couple of touchdowns late, started making himself kind of hot. Alex Smith started to become more that gunslinger. Career started falling off. Injury, things like that. Look at Marcus Mariota, who obviously has been told something, has been gifted something, has been told that this is how this is going to work. You've got the floor as long as we're competitive. And a guy like Desmond Ridder has been told, learn this offense. You're going to be with the twos. Keep learning. Learn until we feel like you've learned more than enough and that the Marcus Mariota situation melts down on its own. And we want to win, so we are frustrated with Mariota saying that he can do it and he's not doing it. And now coming to the realization, not only after that, but, oh, we have pieces. Like, this offensive line is not terrible, but this is not a good situation to be in. An aging Jake Matthews, a Chris Lindstrom that needs to get paid, McGarry that probably will get paid. I know everybody in here probably doesn't want to hear that, but Who in here is team team Caleb? Anybody team Caleb in here? Give me a 1 for yes and a 2 for no. Team Caleb, yes or no? Because it's gonna be a sad day when Terry Fontenot says, "Hey, bro, listen, we're bringing Caleb back. He's got a fantastic run blocking setup with Lindstrom. They have great chemistry together. They're not the best pass blockers, but they can work with it because we'll get the ball out quicker than they're in there to be able to beat up our quarterback." And if that is the plan, then I don't have any problem with it. Just don't bring the bags. You know what I mean? Like, bring the nice check and write him, okay, you're here. You're 29. Okay, here. 5-year deal. Fine. Let's just move on. Let's move on. Let's just put it this way, McGarry. If you keep playing the way you're playing and you just keep getting better, you age better at a later age than you do at your early triumphs. He's like 28, bro. He's like 28 going on 29. Remember, he's been here for a minute. Let's remember, he got his 5th year rescinded. He got his 5th year deal rescinded. Lindstrom's has not, by the way. He did not get his 5th year rescinded, so the Falcons are going to pay that man a stack. I don't think he's Arthur Smith level offensive lineman, but he's so good. Like, you could just put him next to other guys and they do so well. You know what I mean? I think Caleb is going to get brought back, and the worst thing is going to be, we're going to give you a 5-year deal. It's going to be a decent contract, and we're going to ask you to do one thing and one thing only. Just get your hands on people. Just get your hands on people. Keep aging like fine wine. Keep getting better slowly. If by 33 you just got it and you haven't lost a step, maybe you get a 3rd contract. Who knows? Who knows? But I again say it like this. Lindstrom's doing well, and McGarry does well with Lindstrom. Why would you want to break that up to create new chemistry so Lindstrom has to get used to somebody else? When Caleb can just get a small contract and start working. And it's not like he's giving up every sack, okay? When the ball comes out fast and it comes out accurate, which Mariota cannot do very well, but when Desmond's in there saying, then when the ball does come out quickly, it does get to the right wide receiver. It does get to the right tight end. When we have misdirection, Caleb doesn't have to work so hard, and they do very well to block in the run. Now the question becomes, do you keep Hennessy and Dahlman? Dahlman is proving that he should stay. Dahlman is proving that he should stay. Hennessy looks like he's going to get cut. But can you really afford to cut any more offensive linemen? Left guard looks to be an absolute nightmare of guys going in and out and in and out and out. That could be the spot you could put a rookie at. And I thought maybe we would get to that point. But it kind of feels, and hold up before you've heard this one. Tell me you've heard this one before. The Falcons are going to fill left guard with a veteran and pay a stack for a left guard. The problem is that free agency, there really just isn't anybody there. Who do they have? Who? Y'all explain it to me. There's really not a lot of guards that are falling on the market that are going to be that kind of... I mean, should we get Wes Schweitzer back? Should we get Wes... Hey, guys, should we get Wes Schweitzer back? Hey. The Falcons have so much money, and they're going to pay AJ Terrell. We know this. And we know they're going to pay Lindstrom. We know this. So I guess the question now becomes, since we know that the draft will most likely hold an offensive lineman, the draft will most likely, the free agent market might get an offensive lineman. We don't know. But I've got one question for you. And I want all 15, 20, 25 people, however many people are watching this right now, all I want you to do is put a 1 or a 2 in the chat like we just did just a second ago for another question that I had for you guys. But type 1 for wide receiver and 2 for tight end. And before you type it in, before you even start trying to type it in, hold up 1 second. I'll tell you when to type it in. Are you team the Falcons need a true number 2 wide receiver and should go into this draft and secure one? Or are you of the ilk of the camp of the civil war that's currently happening on the Falcons Reddit forums and the Falcons forums and the little sports places? Are you part of the group of people that believe that we need a real tight end number 2? Go into the draft and go get one. Go in free agency, go get a real good guy, a guy that knows how to do things so that it opens up Kyle Pitts and he can do better and he can be a real threat like he's supposed to be. So type in the chat now, 1 for wide receiver or 2 for a tight end, and tell me which one this team really needs. Please tell me which one this team actually needs. 1 for wide receiver, 2 for tight end. Do we need a guy that replaces Calvin Ridley and is a true threat with Drake London as the number 1, number 3 guy, kind of bounce around, move the chains? And that will give Pitts more opportunities. You get a real threat out there. Or do you subscribe to the idea that it's 2? It's tight end 2 actually. And we need another guy that can pound and knock people out and move people and become a bit of an issue on the field, gaining yards and getting the dirty yards, getting touchdowns in the red zone, which opens up Kyle Pitts to get lost in the sauce, and he can make big gains and big catches and be that chain mover and be that red zone threat and be an active threat downfield with a real accurate passer. What do you believe? 1 or 2? Well, as you guys go ahead, start typing it in, 1 or 2. I'm gonna see how many people in here. I'm gonna see how many of you guys subscribe to the idea of tight end 2 or wide receiver 2. We'll see in just a minute. Go ahead, please. But while you guys are typing that in, I feel like I kind of feel like there's no reason to get hyped about getting a tight end or a wide receiver early on in the draft or through free agency, because right now I think that Tyler Algier and Cordero Patterson is the bigger discussion. I feel like running back is the bigger discussion. What happens to Cordero Patterson next year? What happens to Cordero Patterson next year? Tyler Algier kind of feels like he could be part of a running back committee or even become the main running back. This draft and free agency list have some pretty unique running backs, very, very tailored to what an Arthur Smith would want to bring here in Atlanta. And I don't know about y'all, but Caleb Huntley, he's good. He's grand. I'd keep him on the team. But if Cordero Patterson at any point becomes kind of a Deebo Samuels taking up 2 positions, wide receiver 2, running back 1 or 2, and Algier is getting more of the complete snaps, I would love to go grab a guy that can complement Tyler Algier while Cordero Patterson is on the field and being used as a wideout. I think that would help ease some of the tension and make it tough for teams. Is he going to run? Is he going to pass? Is he going to catch a pass? Is he going to run with the ball? Is he going to be an RPO? How many things do we got to think about? Yes, this formation has a certain amount of plays that will be in there, but I mean, it could be a bunch of different things. Which brings up another interesting question. I think a lot of y'all in the chat probably have not thought about this, but are the Falcons always behind the curve? Are the Falcons always behind the curve? First, it was the 2 tight end curve, and then it was, and then you have Wildcats, and then it was have tall, super wide receivers, and the Falcons were trying to catch up to that, and then, now you got to have a really cool zone running game, and suddenly, now your quarterback has to be able to run, and okay, now we have to have wide receivers as running backs and tight ends as quarterbacks, and now you go ahead and put your defensive tackles at safety. And are they always going to be behind the times when it comes to another new NFL trend, and the Falcons are like in the midst of still trying to build something? I mean, it seems like every year it happens that way. We're going to build this. Another team in the NFL comes up with brilliant idea. Not like it hasn't been recycled 100 times, but probably something that they haven't brought up to from the college level to the NFL level. Or just something that's like, it's so simple to just move this guy. Like, this guy can run. Like, he's a pretty decent returner, so let's put him at running back. Now, okay, he's a wide receiver that's a returner that's a running back. Okay, so this now works. Now we have this hybrid player. Oh, he's actually really good and really fast and can catch and can run routes, can do this, can do that. Is that just like a specialty player? Because I don't know. Everybody else seems to have some version of that. I mean, if it wasn't Hunt, then it's Deebo Samuels. If it wasn't Deebo Samuels, then it's Cordero Patterson. Yes, Patterson's playing for Atlanta. But it's been like that. It's been like that. The Falcons are always behind the RPO curve, the quarterback slinging sidearm, and da-da-da-da-da-da. Are the Falcons always going to be behind the proverbial curve, or are they going to make up their own trend and try to see if it works? Because I feel like the more we try to catch up with what everybody else is doing, we're already 2 or 3 years behind what the rest of the NFL has decided to do. The evolution of the NFL and the Falcons' place in the evolution of the NFL, the Falcons must be trendsetters. And if they're not going to trend set and they're going to continue to flounder on the bottom and continue to play in a manner in which common sense takes, understanding talent limitations, common sense ideas, and moving the ball, common sense takes, need to start making sense, need to actually take place more often, instead of what's happening currently, where that common sense is thrown out the window to be a little sneaky here, to be a little more productive here, to be more vibrant in this place or that place. Again, as a fan myself, this setup of the Atlanta Falcons, this is not conducive to anything positive outside of literally just belly up in the ocean. No Ritter starting. I don't care what the reason is. No Ritter starting. Yes, we have limitations, but we need to start seeing what our fruit trees are producing. And if it's a type of fruit tree that takes many years before it bears plentiful fruit, we have to recognize that, and as fans, not become so reliant on next man up mentality and, oh, we've got to move on because we can't stop moving. We can't stop moving to try to cultivate, to grow, to mature something on a moving train, which is the NFL every single season. Don't make sprints into a long race. You'll get caught up in a hamster wheel. That's what it feels like a lot of the time when I start watching the NFL season and hear common takes, common angers, common misconceptions become reality on things like Twitter or Facebook or Instagram or Discord or wherever it can be. Oh, I can't believe we took Ritter in the 3rd round and now we're stuck with him and it's just a wasted pick, but it'll be okay because we're going to go get CJ Stroud and he's going to change everything and all this is going to get better. And it's just like, I can't believe you lie to yourself on a consistent basis just so that you can have a voice in the room when at the end of the day, it's very plain to see. Falcons are reluctant on what they want to do in the Desmond Ritter situation for whatever it may be that's either holding it up or they've made a decision already or we as fans don't see the bigger picture here, or there's prerequisites that have to be put into motion before we can get to see Ritter. But whatever they may be, whatever those things may be, they are now becoming moot. They are becoming baseless. They are becoming very difficult to they're becoming very difficult to justify on a regular basis when you talk about the Atlanta Falcons. I also want to say this very quickly on the tight end and wide receiver situation, which I think is really funny. If you have to add another tight end to the locker room in order to make Kyle Pitts a better weapon, wouldn't that make Pitts less of a unicorn? Maybe that's something people don't want to hear in this chat because, Kyle Pitts, he's the unicorn. Don't talk about our unicorn. But bruh, if you have to bring in another special tight end, another veteran, another dude that knows how to catch balls, and you took Kyle Pitts number 1 you took him number 4 in the 1st round or whatever it was, and you decided, okay, yeah, well, things aren't getting done. So to open Pitts up, we're going to get another tight end. Makes Kyle Pitts less important. So you need a midline guy that's just going to be there. To be there. That's about it. They're there to back up Kyle Pitts. You get the best one that you can get, but usually you don't get two stunning tight ends. The days of 2 incredible tight ends have come and gone, and now tight ends have to be incredibly athletic because having 2 tight ends to cover all that space where one can do the job of 2 seems a bit easier to justify. I keep thinking about this. I said this to myself and I wrote it down, and I just want to repeat it in the chat so that everybody can kind of get an idea of where my head is at. But Marcus is asking for a one-time chance to become the guy and has burnt art for the 2nd time in a row. What did he think was going to happen when you already have the receipt from the last time got burnt? You went and had a steak dinner. Let me set the scene for you guys. You went and had a steak dinner. At that steak dinner, the mashed potatoes were cold. The steak was not cooked to your liking, either over or underdone to a degree that turned you off. Whatever that may be, whatever you guys think about meat. I don't. I do. Medium rare. It's the only way and you're wrong any other way. Because if you burn the steak out and you make the sinew tough and the muscle gross and disgusting, then you'll never be able to eat the steak anyway. So you're wrong if you say a medium well done, black. I don't care what it is. And if you're like, I eat my steak rare, then you're a savage and probably need to be put in an insane asylum. That's just me. In fact, actually, the burnt steak guy, the well done guy or gal, and the rare as I want my cow's heart still beating on the plate guy, both need to go to insane asylums, and they need to be just put happy gas in there, man. Just like happy gas. I swear to you now that anyone who says their steak needs to be well done or completely raw, both of those people either A, were brought up in a family that they weren't given choices and weren't allowed to try different cooks of steak, and therefore were told you either getting your burger or your steak cooked the way that dad and mom want it cooked, which is usually well done because those people are the worst, or crazy. They have no idea what they're talking about, and they have no idea how to cook, what cooking is, and they're just fainting it. They're completely in their own zone, and they're like, I shot a deer with my paw, and I gotta eat my meat right. And you're like, whoa, bro, chill out. You don't need to do that. That's terrible. That's awful. Don't do that again. Terrifying. I never want to see that ever again. But you go to that steak dinner, mashed potatoes are cold, steak's not cooked properly. Whatever your other side, macaroni and cheese, green beans, whatever it may be, with a little, little Dijon mustard or whatever it is, demi glaze. Tastes terrible, too salty, too sweet, whatever it may be. You get your you get your refund. You leave the restaurant. You go home. 9 months goes by. You never come back to the steak place, and your work tells you, we are going on a work dinner, and we need you to tell us of a steak restaurant that we need to go to. This lines up very well with Arthur Smith, so keep listening. We need to go to this steak restaurant, and we need to eat, and we need your recommendation. Pick a steak restaurant. And by the way, there's like a price limit for us to be able to get this steak. So just make sure that it's not a place that's too expensive, because if it is, then everybody's gonna make you pay. Ha. So you take them to this steak dinner because it's a reasonable price, even though you have the receipt from that one time at that one steak dinner at that same restaurant where everything was shit. And you go, well, the restaurant's been through new management and it's gone to a different place, and it looked pretty good on its last couple reviews. Got some 3 stars, got some 4 stars. All right, I'm gonna try it out one more time. And you arrive at the restaurant only to order the exact same thing and receive the exact same result for the second time in a row. And you look at that steak dinner with your cold, overcooked to undercooked steak, cold potatoes, too salt, too sweet glaze, no A1 sauce, no Heinz 57, no steak sauce to be seen for miles, no butter, no gravy, nothing. Dry. And you look at that steak and you go, well, I did order I did come back to this restaurant. That's number one. So I knew what I was getting myself into. Everybody else at the table got similar things, and they all got mixed reviews on their dinners, but most of them said it's mediocre. It's not that great. Mariota. And so you're at this dinner, and everybody's got those mixed reviews, and none of them really said it was that great, and it's still stated within budget, and you actually are going to save money for the next steak dinner that you've been marinating the steak at home because you taught yourself how to make steaks after that absolutely terrible, gosh, awful experience. And you decide, well, they won't trust me to cook them a steak dinner again. And they know that this other steak dinner is for me and the boss. So, I can't make them come to another steak dinner and cook them a good steak, and they go, well, you know the difference between a good steak and a bad steak, okay? So why did you take us to that restaurant? Why do we have to suffer? And you go, well, because I didn't have the mashed potatoes, and I didn't have the gravy, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You can make those excuses, but if you knew the steak was good from the beginning, why did you go to that restaurant? Why didn't you just serve the steak that you had? So if you believe that Marcus Mariota is, one guy or another guy, or you believe that Desmond Ritter is the next Mahomes, or whatever it may be, whatever's going on in your lives, just remember, there's more to life than football. And the Atlanta Falcons should never, ever, 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 ever break you down. And if you do, if you feel that bit, make sure you hit us up at UNGR_show on Twitter and on Instagram. Hit us up. We'd love to talk to you. Hit us up on the Discord. Discord is open. Discord is open from my Twitter. If you haven't already, UNGR show on Twitter. Discord is open. Come talk to us about football anytime you want. Plenty of fans out there. Peace, hair grease, rise up, stay grounded. Thank you to everybody who came through. Fat Boy Tacos, Kayvon Turner, Dominic Patterson, TJC. Good to see you guys glitched in here. Boy Bangley, Tyler Albert Molina, Christopher Sanders, good to see you, my man. Rise up, stay grounded, Jock Money, good to see you. Dexter Vlash in the building, the guy. Big John in the building, good to see you, buddy. Rise up, stay grounded. All you guys have a blessed night. Peace, hair grease, rise up, stay grounded. See you guys real soon. And by the way, Lord Jesus, thank you so much for all these people. Thank you for their lives. Thank you for everything that they've done. Thank you for their love of sports as well as their love of creativity, no matter what job they do or where they're currently at in their lives, no matter whether they receive this prayer or they decide that, this guy's too much for me. May their lives be filled with happiness and joy and continue to do great things, not only through your will, but also through their own as creators created by the Creator. Allow them to continue to morph and mature and continue to receive your blessing and have their old wineskin renewed with a new wineskin, and happiness to every single one of them. In Jesus' name, amen. There you go. There's your church. You guys have a good day. Peace, hair grease, rise up, stay grounded, and I hope to see you guys again soon. Aye, aye, Capitan.